This week, Anthropic released their brand new model called Mythos. Now that's only for the fancy, high-end companies. For the rest of us, we get to use a mythos-like model called Fable 5. What I did as soon as Fable 5 was available was hop into Claude Code and create from scratch an AI filmmaking platform that allowed me to create images, generate video, and even make a little short film. If you're interested in creating your own custom AI filmmaking app for yourself, for your studio, or for others in starting a new company, then this video should help you walk through the general process and what's needed. To get started, all you need is Claude Code from Anthropic and, of course, a fall API key. So I created a new folder on my desktop called Fable. This is what Claude needs to get started. Opened up Claude, couldn't find the actual Fable model, so I did /update, and boom, there it was. Switched to Fable 5, and we're off to the races. So my prompt to get this started was, make a web app that uses the fall.ai API that has two modes. Mode 1 is image generation for text or from references using Nano Banana Pro. Mode 2 uses a video model, Happy Horse, and allows for image to video. The left frame of the website is for input and parameters. The right frame of the website is a gallery of the generated images and videos shown in their correct aspect ratios. So I let Claude cook for a little bit, and this is what the resulting website looked like. So the web app is looking pretty good, and I generated a couple images, and what I noticed is that it automatically added a little horse icon to each one of the images, which if you click it, it will take that image and populate that into the first frame for the video generation. So there's a little horse icon for Happy Horse, and I didn't prompt for this. This is a pretty clever mechanic that you do see on other platforms. So I must say that so far Fable 5 has either done its research on what an AI filmmaking app looks like and functionality that is like common, and it just automatically adds it. So that is pretty incredible. The second thing that I liked that Fable 5 added to this app, again, completely unprompted, was way at the bottom, little sneaky, there's a flyout for the fall API key. Typically, you need to add this as a variable in an environment file, but say if you were going to release this app and host it on Vercel or something like that and make it available to others, all they'd have to do was click this little flyout and paste in their fall API key, which I'm sure it's like secreted out so you can't actually see it, hit enter, and now this app is usable for anyone that actually has a fall account. So the base AI filmmaking app is working perfectly. We generate images, and then from those images, we generate video. But now I want to add a little bit of quality of life and eventually some new functionality as well. So we head back to Claude, and the prompt goes something like this. Add the ability to drag and drop the images from the gallery into the Nano Banana reference shot or slot. Add a bottom panel to the web app where you can drag and drop the videos from the gallery to make a mini NLE, or that's a video editor basically, editor where you can reorder the clips and play them back as a video preview. So here is the resulting website. And, one quality of life thing I always like is being able to reuse the images that we generate. I don't want to have to download them and then re-upload them. So just being able to drag and drop the generated image to the reference slot of the image generator or the first shot of the video generator, that's a workflow that I think is pretty much mandatory and should be everywhere. So we got that perfect. And the video editing NLE that I put at the bottom, even though the thumbnails were like the wrong aspect ratio, which I kind of changed later, it did actually work. So I could generate a couple videos, and then I was able to drag and drop the videos and reorder them all into this timeline. Then I could hit play and watch them back, which is of a little bit of value. I mean, it's because you're going to always edit it, of course, later on, but there's some value in being able to review it and watch it back. At this point, the web app had all the basic features that I would need to start making a project. So I actually went to Midjourney, where I'd already generated a couple shots that were pretty cool, and I uploaded them as references, and I started creating a bunch of shots. But it was at this point where the friction happens for me in almost any AI filmmaking platform, where I want to start picking my selects and then see them in a simple way so I can start kind of storyboarding the film. If you're doing reference to video with Seedance, you may not be doing this process of doing all these first frames. But if you want something that's like heavily art directed and really controlled, for me, the best way to do that is to actually generate every single first frame or middle frame or last frame. Just generate every meaningful like style shot of the film and then organize them into a list. So I wanted to make a couple updates to our new AI filmmaking app. So I went back to Claude and the prompt was something like, remove the video timeline frame and replace it with a story panel. I don't want to see the video previews, not yet anyway, right? That could be later on, but I wanted to test that. It worked. Very cool. Get rid of it. I'm a terrible boss. Sorry, Claude. Anyway, the story panel is a linear list of images that can be drag and dropped and reordered from the gallery. If an image from the gallery is in the story panel, give it an icon that indicates that it's being used. Give the shots in the story panel a number on their order or of their order that updates as the story images are drag and dropped to different orders. So here's a quick glance at what the web app looked like after making these changes. But of course, there were some things that were just immediately wrong. So we hopped back into Claude and said, make the entire web app color theme gray. No color cast. The gallery looks slightly red, which turns out it wasn't. It was just my eyes. I went to Photoshop and looked at it again, but I asked anyway. Make the story shot images their native aspect ratio. That's really important. I want to see the whole shot. And then said, make the story thumbnail shots able to be dragged into the video reference image to video box reference as well. So this prompt unfortunately ruined the whole website, and it combined the gallery with our shot list, and then it made the whole website scroll horizontally, which fair game, just kind of messy prompt overall. So we went back in and did one last tweak to our web app. And I said, make the gallery its own frame that scrolls and orders the images newest to first. Wow. Newest to first, oldest last, that scrolls down. What an awful way of saying that. And I had to fix it later, but anyway. I also said, make the story panel its own frame that scrolls down or vertically. I don't want the website to scroll horizontally at all. Horrible prompts, but it did a good job. And this is what Claude Fable 5 came back with, and it's honestly a layout I've never seen before. I'm pretty happy with this, actually. So everything is just vertical. On the left, we have our parameters. The middle is the gallery, and on the right is our final selects. So one of the last things I wanted to add to this, I prompted, in the gallery view, add a button to delete each one of the thumbnails that removes it from the view. I had basically generated a couple images by mistake, wrong aspect ratio that I didn't like, and I just wanted to be able to remove them. Nothing crazy. And in the end, after I had generated a lot of shots and then started generating a lot of videos, my final prompt for this little web app was make the gallery into two views, one for the still images and one for the videos. And that is now our final form of Fable Cine or Cinefable, our little quick app. And here's a quick walkthrough of how the workflow works. Even though you probably get it, I just want to make this kind of like walkthrough video that shows how the final app works. And hopefully it was fun watching us get to this final product here. Today, I am thrilled to announce the launch of Cinefable. On the left panel, we have the familiar text to image or reference to image prompting panel. As we create our shots, they are put and organized into our middle gallery panel, and we're going to pick our selects, our favorite first frames, and drag them onto our right story panel. As we do this, we're going to see that their orders are labeled. You can reorder them as well, and you can even tell in the middle gallery that they're being used because they have the corresponding number. This is a workflow that I like using, and I think a lot of directors would enjoy as well. Once we're done picking our story frames, we're going to switch to our video panel, and we can drag from our story frame to our video frame and generate the videos. Once you're done generating all your videos, you can switch the gallery to the video panel and you can see all of the videos you've generated. And for now, you're going to right click and download them to your computer and edit them the old-fashioned way. Okay, so conclusion time. How did Claude Fable 5 do creating this AI filmmaking app? Drum roll. It did amazing. There was only one time where it got stuck trying to debug one of the drag and drops, and it kept getting stuck in this one loop, and I basically just said, stop doing that at a certain point, like stop trying. And then I personally used the app, and it worked fine. And I read the debug of what it was having an issue with, and it was this little conflict of like, if you drag and drop an image to one of the panels, and then immediately, I think without letting go, try to drag it somewhere else, it doesn't work, it fails. And I'm like, That's fine. So it got stuck on this like really little behavior bug, which I guess it's testing the drag and drops for me behind the scenes. But I think on your average use case or your average run through the app, it's never a problem at all. So with almost no manual intervention here, Claude is one-shotting. Claude is seamlessly, quickly, and correctly implementing a pretty complicated web app with drag and drop, call it to the Fall API, like a video editor, even though we got rid of it. It is quite capable, and it's actually, in what I would believe is happening, is it's looking at other AI filmmaking websites, and it's implementing features that they have that are popular, that are good. So it's going to give you features that you didn't even ask for, but that are standard, I think, in this space. Before this, I was using Opus, I think, 4.6 or something like that. And if it does become that Fable 5 is really expensive, even though Fall's paying for my account right now, right? This might be too expensive, like overkill perhaps. We could probably go back to Opus and it's fine. But I feel like, if it's, worth the token expenditure here, I think that I can tell that there's like a little bit of an improvement here in the quality, and all of that helps because, you're going to spend tokens anyway. And if Fable 5 can do it the first time and add features that you weren't even thinking of as you're making it, that's saving you money. So hard to say, but if you can have access to it, especially now in this kind of like preview window where it's like part of the regular subscription, I think it's certainly worth the value because your time is expensive and it's going to do things for you right the first time, and it's going to give you things you didn't even ask for that are great additions as well. So big picture, I hope I've illustrated that you can basically just talk to your software now. It's like you're in Photoshop or like Resolve and you're like, I wish there was a plugin that would take the text and animate each letter coming on and add a sparkle. You can basically do that with this type of vibe coding here. If you're building your own app, you can just, in plain English, ask for the thing that you want, and it's going to do its best to make it happen. And a lot of the times it's going to work perfectly. When we combine this with Fall, we now have something that has never existed for any creative ever. You can basically prompt into existence almost any image or video that you want, and then you can also prompt Claude to create the program that allows you to organize it and organize the way you like to work with just normal language. So we have basically gotten rid of the barrier to creating images, and we've gotten rid of the barrier to create programs that create those images. And I'm still coming to terms with what this means. I come from traditional filmmaking, traditional software development. I've made apps in the past, and they take me years of programming. And if I had to build an app like this from scratch, like a web app, I don't think I could, basically. It's just a little bit too much for me. There's like so much going on. But Claude Code and the Fall API, they just make this all possible for basically anyone. And I'm really interested to see what I can put together and what others can put together with this type of system. And let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or questions about this process. And I'll see you on the next video.